Hello and welcome back. Well, right in front of me we've got the Munsters Mansion. Uh, as we're going to be working on this side of the mansion as well in this video, and as it is the dining room, and I'll come around to the back of the house, and then this is the dining room, and now what I'm going to do is raise the camera up or bring it a bit closer because that's how low the table goes down. And that's how I can zoom into in the dining room. Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the false wall on the double dining room, and sorry, and then as you can see, I have coated the door to trim, and I have done it on each one, and as you know, I've done some windows, and the window frames. And that is white, and that is, and then the door frames are dark oak, as you see. So, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that one there, because what I'm going to do is get a bit of paper, lay it in, so you get the straight edge along there and along this wall, or in either, because there's only two walls, and then push the rest down into the crease of the walls, and that's how you have a line, and they're coming round, and then you can cut that off, and then that's the size of your room, and then that could be your template to put on your cards to cut your floor out, because because what I am using for this floor, and I am not making any floors for this one, uh, and they're making any out of wood or cardboard or anything like that. And now we did find this black lino, and it's tiled, and it's pretty thick, and it's sticky on the back, and then because we did use a bit of it was when another project of ours, but as we've got this one here now, and that says what, because I have got another sheet of it and all that, and I am going to cut that. So what I'm going to do is and they go away and cut the card. Where we'll do this, and I'll come back and show you. And as in, I cut the cards, and then we go from there. Okay, I've cut the paper, and I made a mistake. And as I am not transferring it to a card, and there's this paper and that, because this is get in their transfer to the lino. So, do yourself cut the paper to size, and as that fits perfect in the room, and all the four sides. And what I've done is cut the lino as well, and then as you can see, and that's so what I've done is transferred the size of the paper to the lino. So this lino and works out a perfect fit now for the room. It fits in there snug. Okay, I've cut the paper for the wall. You see, and then you can see that paper fits, and they're really good along that wall. And as I'm happy with the size of it, and then all you do is once again is get a bigger bit of paper, or you can get like little bits, and then and they tape it together to make your size of your wall. And then what you do is you transfer that to a card, and I've already done that. And there's my cards, and so transfer that to the cards, and then the card will go in, because this card now, and then I want to start decorating on this, and there's on this card, and then that's so this will kind of be like and then there's the wallpaper or the wall to be and they're stuck against the foam boards. So, and then what I'm going to do is go, and I will leave that in there, and then I'm going to go away and cut and there's the other three sides. Okay, I've got the picture, of the Munsters dining room, or the Munsters dining room. And now you can see like, and if you can see on the walls there, it's all wood panelling, and then all the way round. And as in plus all this, and the wallpaper has got all these, and then it's all come away, even the plaster's come away from the walls, and then it's just showing bare woods. And I'm gonna do that as well. And then the floor, and if you can see the floor, that is all dark tiles or black tiles, and then what I've got in there. But and then so yeah, so we should look pretty good. And that's what I'm gonna do is start doing a bit of paneling now on these cards, and then because as you hit the corners, because you've got to do the returns on the corners. So yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna start doing the paneling, and I'll come back and show you. And that is how I'm doing it. I've got the in one side of the wall out of, or to say cards, out of the dining room of the Monsters Mansion, and that's what I have done. And I don't know if you can see that, but I will mark it again. And then I've got a really thin line was going through there, and that is 8 centimeters from the bottom of the card to that line. Yeah, that's going to be my wooden paneling down there, and then I'm having wallpaper above. So, and as because I did use an straight edge, because I've got 1, 2, 3 block there, as you see, and plus I've got a 90-degree angle, and because what I do, and I tend to do, is put the 1, 2, 3 block down the bottom of the card, butt it up against the cards, and as in what I do, I bring that there, put the ruler on it, and as in mark up 8 centimeters, and then mark there again. I did this end here, and that 8 centimeters. Oh, you get the ruler straight. Mark that off, and as and then just run a line straight through it. And if I can get that on and that done, then I can show you. So just go on your 2 marks with your pencil and go all the way through. That's a little bit better now. I think you're better to see, and I feel better to see that a little bit better now. There's the line there, and so what I'm going to do is show you how I cut my wood paneling. So, and I will get the bits and pieces together, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, I've got a couple of bits and pieces ready now, and as for my wood paneling, and I do use these lolly sticks, and they're only the small ones, and as you can see, you get a pack of 50 of them. So, hopefully I use about 150 of them or something. But I don't really know because like as the room's pretty well, it ain't that long, but it's long enough. I haven't got a clue how many I'm going to use. So I've got about in there 200 to 300 of them, but it's the way I use them. These are 9 millimeters across, and that's across that way. And make sure and then make sure they're longer than 8 centimeters. But these ones here are, I don't know if you can see that, because they're 9 point. If I go on the end, now and there's about 9.3. Sorry, and I don't know if you can see that. And that, but it's about 9.3 that way. And that's so what I do, I put some masking tape around both ends, because when you come to cut them, and then as they tend to and they ping everywhere. But and then that's so what I do, I put some masking and that's tape around both ends, and that is, and then mark off, and I'll show you one I've already set up to do that. There's that one. There's this one here. And then, as you see, I've got masking tape around both ends, and that, so I can cut these ends off, and as in it gives me a straight bottom and a straight top, and that, and then whichever way you want to, well, cool like, and it doesn't matter. But and the one ends I marked off 7 millimeters, and that's how I know what I do with that. And as you get another straight edge, and then I'll double down, you see that there, but I'll put this one here, and now because you better see that better. And as in like butt that up against it, mark off like 7 millimeters there, centimeters, millimeters, and then 7 millimeters there, and as in then we'll draw that line through, and as in then off that line, and then I'll put it on a one. I'll put one on that line there. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put it on that one there, and as in I'll mark off 9, because like you're taking 1 inch away, so and that add 1 to the 8. Well, then as in it makes it 9. So and as in then do the same, mark off both ends, and as in then draw a line through, and as in then like is all ready for cutting. And how I cut them is with either a mitre saw, and that is I've got one just there, and that is because you can either lay them down like that and butt them up against something, keep it on a straight edge there, and that is and then we're on the line there, and that is and then just like cutting through gradually, and that's your best bet. And if you haven't got a like little mini table saw. But and as I had one for quite a while, because that's how I do my cut these ends off, and that's this one here. But as sorry, with people who do use these, and they be because you know about the health and safety, and now you got to be very very careful. And as you can see, I ain't got no guard on mine and all that, but yeah, this is how I cut it. And it's got a blade in there. It's got the power pack. It's got like a little straight edge where you can run it through. And that's what I do. I put it, after it's all plugged in, and that is then the Hoover, and there's the Hoover is in the back of that, because your plug goes in there, and then you got your on and off switch there, because you have got a guard in there. And as this goes across like that, and then because you've got two brackets that hold it in place, and then this fits on there, and then it goes over that and over that blade, and then it makes a guard for it. But now I don't use that. I know, and now I should. And I should use it, because what I do is put this on, put that on there, and I'll put these level with that, and then I set my blade up with my mark, and that is in what I do, and I'll get a bit of card or something and stand it up against the one side of it, and as and then switch on, and as and then just run that straight through, and as and then that cuts all them off, and as and it gives me a nice stick without 2 ends on. So and I'll just show you one or two that I've already cut. This is the one I cut a little bit earlier, and then as these are for 2 or 4 cutting now, and as this is the one I would just cut a little bit earlier, and as you can see, like it hasn't got no round-ended wedges on it now, so yeah, and then it saves a lot of time instead of using a saw. But that we got to do is be very very careful with it, because like you got to be the health and safety comes first, and then make sure you wear a pair of glasses, because they do pick up everywhere. And as please do use the fence or the guards. and all that. I know I don't, but you know, I've been cutting a long time, and as in, well, not a long time. That is no excuse. Well, actually, because I like accidents still do happen. But and then I will set the fence up or the guard on it next time, and as I will cut with it. So right, so when once you've done that, and then take off your tape or your tape, and that's what you're left with. And then so just peel this off, and then you can like start sticking them because they do fit in between their two marks there. And I don't know if you can see. See, and then you go along, sticking one is individually, you know, and then take them out of this bit of a wrapper here, or this bit of paper, and so they'll all be loose, and then so just start gluing along, and then just start sticking them along, and as you go. So that's it. So then what I'm gonna do now is start sticking some on, and as we'll see how it looks. That's what I'm using, PVA glue, and that it is in my sauce bowl, and then why I use these because they're so much more easier to squeeze out instead of them the glue the bowls where you get with the glue in because they're so hard to come out, and all you're ever doing is squeezing it, you know. So yeah, and they're much better with the brown saucy bowl, or red one or whatever, so yeah, and so what? Oh, and as I was saying about the machine, the power machines. Yes, that guard does fit across that blades, and then if you move the fence closer to the blades, but don't let the fence and they touch the blades, and as that will fit over the blades, and and then you can have it long ways. So that was my mistake, and I'm sorry. So yeah, so think health and safety before you do. Protect your eyes, your fingers, everything. So that's on the power machines, or say power tools. Right. So in the one I've got, and I've got them lighters laying there, as you see. And then what I'm going to do is each one is just they give it as a slight sanding, sorry, and the only one, and it takes the edge off and the edge of it, and that. Yeah, I'm using is P 240, and as it is where wet and dry one, but I never ever wear it. I always use it dry. But that was the one. And then, because when I went down to get some new sandpaper, I just picked it up. There was what they even look, you know. So yeah, I should have looked, but don't matter. It does that does the job. And so what I'm going to do now, and I will use my straight edges, and that's what I do. I'll just get another block. Okay, I'm going to start sticking these my paneling down now. And it's going to take a little time, but it doesn't matter. We can go because we're in no rush. And then so I'm going to prepare a bit of glue on this, or using a brush as you can see. So just go down where I can get it. One sec. Yeah, it's what I've done, and I've just got a bit of paper to put underneath it. It's an old bit of paper, and we use for painting. So, and then what I've done is we've just got a bit to put underneath it, so I don't get all the glue all over the table. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue a little bit of this here, like this here now. That's about enough for a minute. And I'm going to take the paper away, put it over there, and then turn it around so you can see what I'm going to do. And then get my straight edge there up against the cards, or the 1, 2, 3 block. And then I'll use this one again, so you can see. And then put a straight edge along the bottom of the cards. and press it up against the cards. Have one in the corner there, up against this paper, and then the bit you said was one you just sanded down, and then put that in to the corner, and then just push it down, push up against the straight edges or the blocks, and then make sure it's in there straight, and that is and down the bottom. That's looking all right. That's good. Yeah, that's it. That's all right. And then we just go along doing the rest of them. I think I've got enough glue on there for another one. And put that one in. See, so that now should be right on the edge of that card now. And then nothing overhanging and nothing overhanging the bottom. So what we're going to do now is go, well, I'm going to put it back this way now, so because you know what's going to happen. And I will push them down. And now I will put some more glue on it. And I'll go along gluing all the panelling down. Because it's got to be rubbed down anyway afterwards, so it doesn't matter. I know, paper. Get the paper under it because I will have, as I said, all glue all over the table. And I don't want that because all the stuff I'll put on the table afterwards will be, and they're stuck to the table. I know it's going to take a little time, but and then we'll see how it goes. So let's rub this one down. I think your best bet is rub a couple down at first, and then you can just put glue on, and then go along sticking them all. Because otherwise you're for forever putting glue on, rubbing it down quickly to get it stuck onto the cards. And that like I'm doing now. So if you do it the other way, if you rub quite a few down at once, or before you start putting the glue on, and then what we could do is just have them all up there, and then put your straight edge down there, and well, put your glue on, put your straight edge down there, and then just pick them up and stick them all down. So what we're going to do now is go away and rub some of these down. Okay, I've rubbed down 10 there. We'll just see here. We've got 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And as my glue's going dry, I know. But and there's just another thing I want to show you, because this is where the removable wall is here. And there the door, removable wall. But this other end is where the other doorway is. And all that. So if you stand it up and then they're like this, right? So that's how that's going to be. Yeah. So once you do this panelling, right, you got to remember about this return here, and that they have got to butt up against this return. So that's why I'll start this card on here, this end here, and then so as I go along, and then once I hit the return, and I already got the card there. And so I can come along and then see which way. And if this one like me meets up to this corner, and there's this one a butt into there. But if it doesn't, this one this way a butt into this corner. See, so that's my method. And then they might call it madness or something like that, but it does work because I've done it in the Victorian house. And that's the way I've done it. So, and then what I'm going to do is, and then they try to use a bit of this glue because it's going to dry out. I'll put this on quickly. Use M10 or because use them until this glue goes. See how far this glue goes, as I say. Because after you've stuck them all, let them dry, and then you can just rub them down and either paint them or varnish them and whatever you want. And but I think these ones are gonna be light and they're like oak, the stain and varnish, like on the drawing, or to say the picture. Sorry, not the drawing. It's all getting beaten now because it's got any skin on it. So I'll take it to there, and then I'll put the. I'll just put it over there quickly. Get my straight edge. Well, I'll use this one again. Put that up against the bottom of the cards, and just go. So my fingers ain't in the way, are they? Sorry. And it's very well. It's difficult to do. Just because that one dropped there, if you see that, but just push it back with the straight edge. This is up to the edge of your cards, and hold it in place. Put it up to there. So there's another way. I don't know because like it's with this straight edge, and then all you got to do is really now is bang against the straight edge because that's the bottom of your cards, and then push it in tight. I think this will be the last one because my glue's run out now. But I've got quite a few on. Well, about 4 or 5. How many? 2, 4, 6. Oh, 4. And all that, you know. So I'll let that dry. And as that'll be it. Well, we're going to have to go away long. But when I get to it, I'll show you, and I'll come back and show you. So what we're going to do is carry on with this now because it's going to take a while, and then I'll come back and show you this corner. Okay, I'm up to my corner now, and as you see, I'm up to this corner here now. So what I am going to do, because I did try it, and once you bend it, and you put this in that corner, and then as when it comes straight, is you might have a tiny little gap, but that's all right. It's all right because you always can do that. And then with a little bit of cut off of these and their lolly sticks. So what I'm gonna do is put a 1, 2, 3 block behind it. You see that? No, I ain't. Sorry, I'm gonna glue it first because otherwise you won't be able to do it. It's just to see if the mic was on because I didn't know if it was on or not. If I switched on or not. So I'll just put this on here for a moment. Put that on there like that. A little bit more, and that'll do. Yeah, that's plenty. So what I'm going to do now is get 1, 2, 3 block and see it behind. So that makes that square or corner, let's say. And then I'm going to get my straight edge and sit that down the bottom and butt it up against the bottom of the wood or your panelling, and then just put this in and push it down push it down and make sure that's straight. So when you kind of put this in the house and that is on the corner and as that sitting to the corner and they're just right. So now we got that one there and it's the same height as all the rest. What we do is move that take this one away. Well, I bring this back, put it down the bottom there, and as we can put the other ones on there, and bait it up against this one. So make sure that this straight edge is and they're running along, butting up against these. This wood panelling. And as and then you're going to have a little bit left over on this corner, and then if you got a little bit left over on the corner, and then once that's dried, just turn it over, cut that off, and that bit of fit in there. Sorry, I don't think you can see what I'm doing. And I'll just move this around. See, now that's on and that's done. And then if you fold this back up again to corner, and then you've got a tiny little edge there, the gap, sorry, you can see it. And what I do, I stand it up, and because you've got a tiny little gap, and let me put the brush down, and then all fingers, and thumbs. So you got a little gap there, down there, but you got a little overhang on there. Once that's dry, because you can cut that off to make it level with the cards, and then that bit there can fit inside there. So that's my plan. So that's how I do corners, and that's so if you stand it up now and do that on a corner, well, like that, and as fits in, and all panelling is all the same all the way around. So that's it. While this is drying, I'm gonna go and mark this door frame out, and then mark from the edge of the end of the cards up 8 centimetres per me mark through, and then start sticking me wood panelling on. Sorry, and then start sticking me wood panelling on. So I'll see you in just a moment. Right, okay, this is another day because I did finish it all off in the day before, but I thought I'd show you as well today. So this is another day, as you can see by the shirt, and I did cut this bit off, I was saying, on this corner, and that's that corner done now. Let me just turn around. Yeah, that's that corner done, and then plus I've done the other ones as well. So, and then what I'm gonna do is lay them out on the table and show you. That's the one wall. This is the movable door and or wall, and that's the it was to go out into the back garden, but this is the movable wall where it goes on the onto the house. So got that one done. This is the other end. This is the other end as well, done. And then you notice I've cut all the edges off because this one here, as you can see, it's just running out a little bit, but and then when it all butts up, and then we don't hardly see that. And then after when I showed you this other one, and then we'll go to the house and I'll put them in, and as you see what they look like. So that's the other sidewall. Oh, sorry, yes, yeah. So it's end wall. Sorry, where the door is, and this is the other sidewall. And there with the other door, and that's and plus I've done that there's that corner as well. I don't know if you can see that. Hang on. Let me just. Then what I'll do, I'll put these over here because otherwise it gets a bit confusing. And yeah, that's the. And as in once we do the corner, yes. And then the way I've done them is we've got a card, put a bit of tape on the back, and then that's how they stay together, and that'll be me the corner. So, right. As what I'm gonna do is sorry, and then I'm gonna put and then we're gonna have a look at these in the house now. Okay, as you can see, we've got the dining room in front of us now, the Munsters Mansion. Well, I've just taken off the removable wall, and then I'm gonna put put the wood paneling in. And after I've got this in, what I'll do is take the camera off the stand, and then we can and I can scan it. And because otherwise it's a bit hard to show you and as in replace these in. Got something like that. What I am going to do is get some 90 degree angles and set them up there just to hold it up. Unless I just get a couple of hang on, I'll get a couple of clamps to pinch the top. Yeah, instead of having them angles there, them 90-degree angles, I've got a couple of clamps here. I'll clamp that one there, and clamp that one there. That's soon I can move, this out of the way then. A little bit down there. And I've got the other wall. Well, what fits in this one? So if you notice, because I'm going to show you in that moment. That's that done. Well, what I'm going to do, sorry. And as you can see that, and I've got a removable wall there. So what I will do is clamp that as well. I will stand it in there, like that. I'll clamp it, and then we'll have a look at, and I'll take the camera off. So I'll clamp that out there then. Remember these, because these clamps are only on there because they ain't stuck or anything. So, but what I will do now is take the camera off, and then we'll have a look at it. Okay, I've taken the camera off the stand now, and I've taken them clamps off there, that side and on the removable wall, and that. And as you see the wood paneling, and I know it's like looking down at it, but and I will move the movable wall, and as we can see a little bit closer in, and oh, and I did take them off because like is the I know it's this little bit of paper, a little bit scuffed there, but we can sort it out as we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take the removable wall off, and have a look at it a bit closer. Well, we're kind of like level. It was near enough level with it. So if I go into the room, just if I can turn the camera. Sorry, I'll better stay here, I think. And then you can see the corners all meet up. And I don't know if my hand's going to get in the way here, but oh jeez, I don't want that. So there's that corner done, and I'll show you this one around here if I can. I know it's a bit close. Now I think you got that's that corner. So I think it's all it's looking all right. But and then what we'll do now is and wallpaper it up here. The dado around to go around the top of the wood paneling, and the door trims go around after we've decorated it. You know, like I've done the wallpaper and all that. And that is the door trims. and then plus across the doors, well, to say in the door frames, there ain't gonna be no doors, and then what is going to be is curtains going across. So yeah, so all it is now is starting the wallpapering. So let's go wallpapering. Okay, I've stained and varnished the four panel, the four walls, or the panels on the four walls. That's one, and as you see, it's a light oak, and that does look all right, but it is going to be all dirtied up. So what after this? Was after this, what we're going to do is start painting the walls. But there's one panel done, or like one and a bit walls done. So I've got the other three here. I'll show you. And there's the other two. There's the other two, as you can see. I'll put them over here. And the last one with the panel wings on is it was that one now? So and all the stain and varnish is done on the panels now. So yeah. So what I've been using is satin oak. So it was satin oak, and it's low. And then if you can see that, it's low odours. It's food safe, and it's sorry, it's toy safe. Sorry, and food safe. So that's okay. No, I'm happy with that one. So yeah, it's pretty good. So now what I did do is I painted on with a brush, and and I got like as a blue tissue, and and I just wiped and it wiped it off, and and it comes up like that. So that's pretty good. And also what I have done is cut all the paper for the walls, and there you can see this is one. So I've done this one here. I'm going to paint these, and now I am going to paint these. It's called champagne. Now, I've used it before in other projects, and it is a cream coloured and all that. Because and then if you ever look in the Munsters dining room, and then there's two places in Munsters house. That was the dining room and the living room, and they had cream walls. So, and I'll show you the picture. And there's a picture, and there you can see the walls, the cream, and they're all stained, and like all the wallpaper's falling off and all that. So I'm gonna we'll do that to the walls, and so I'm going to use the cream, champagne, and paint it, and paint these, and then we can do this bit here. Well, I like is pull the wallpaper off and do these bits here, and that's and then dirty the walls up. So and then what I'm going to do now is get the stuff ready to paint the wallpaper, champagne, and and I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, I've got my stuff now, or it's all ready for painting, and then as you can see, I'm using champagne, and then it's from Wix's, and plus it is water based. Now if you can see that, and because I try to use water based all the time, and that because if you use the oil based, and that is because you've got to buy turps and clean it out and all that, and that's too much. Well, I find that too, and they're too much hard work. I'd rather buy water based, and that's all you got to do is just run it under the tap. So right, so that's what I'm using. Well, I did take the top off with like a screwdriver, you can see, but I stirred it with the stirrer, and that is it's already been stirred, and that's and then wipe off the excess paint. Well, I scraped the most of it off on the side of the can, and that it was to the inside, and then I wipe the other excess off and with the cloth, and then with a blue towel. And now I am going to use a roller. It's one of the little mini rollers, and that so like as that does is a trick, and they're really well. So what I'm going to do is dip. Well, I'm going to put them over. Oh, near enough. And then lucky that wasn't the paint. So what I'm going to do is dip my roller in. So I've got a little bit on the roller, and as I put it in my tray and just smooth it out. And because if you pour a big lump in your tray, and then they always left over with loads more, loads of it. So, and then what I do is just dip me roller in, as you can see again, smooth it out, and then it gives me enough on the roller to do a couple of bits, and it only leaves a little bit in the tray. Do that now, and then just run it over. It's they're much quicker this way, doing it this way. But what you got to do is just watch the paper, because it tends to ping up like that. So we just do it one way, and if you get any, that's all curling under, that is, I think. Now we'll do it that way, like that, and that stops that curling up. If you do get any little bits of lumps on it, just pick it off, and I'll pick it off with my screwdriver, and just wipe it on my towel. And then right, I'll do this one with you, and then I'll go away and do the other four. What? Sorry, 3, because this one is the 4th one. Dip that back in. You know that? Because I've tried, and try not to get any on this table, because after, and I do stand stuff on this table, so until we film again. Oh, okay, cover that up. Oh, shut that back up. They're trying to get a bigger bit of paper if you can, and then you won't have this problem. Keep on opening. Okay, that's that one done. So what I do is just put that to one side now, and I'll do the others, and wait till it dries, and then we'll start putting them on the wall. Okay, I've painted the rest of them now. I know they're bending up at the ends, well, as you can see, and the ones they're fully dry, and now what we're going to do is straighten them out. And once I put them on the wall, I'll just get a roller, and as I'm gluing them, I'll just roll them over, so like as they stick down straight. And I'm going to show you the photo again of the dining room. And as you see, that's the dining room there. And as you see these bits here, and all that, all wall ripped out, and it's just showing you the wooden slats behind. And what I'm going to do that is with this wallpaper. And what I'm going to do is rip with some of this up, and to make holes in it on the edges. And that's what we done. Yeah, I did print some of this off on the printer, and that's to go underneath to go underneath the wallpaper, and I will show you. And that is without there. So the wallpaper's on, and that's been ripped away, and it's just showing the wood and the slats and underneath. So that's going to be my wooden slats, and so I'm going to go away, and I'm gonna sorry, and rip some of this out, and then what it's wallpaper here, and then stick some of this on the wall, and where the hole is, where I cut, and then stick this back over, and then hopefully it should come out like that. So hopefully, so we keep our fingers crossed, and let's see what it looks like. So, and now I'm gonna go. We're gonna do that now. Okay, I've done my wallpapering, and I've put that on, and as the walls are going to be beige, as you know, and cream, sorry, cream, and that's what that will like, and that looks like. And now I am going to make it more dirty and all that, but I thought I'd just show you that as it's been painted. And I've done two walls, well, two end walls, and that hasn't got no plaster or anything like that off. So there's one of the end walls, and I'm going to show you the other end wall now. And that's the other end wall, and see none of the plasters off it or anything like that. But there's the other two. One side, and there's a long wall without a door in, and they've got one bit. Oh, hang on, I've just dropped one bit as well. And that is off, and there you see that. And there's the plasters off, and you can see the slats. And there's the wooden slats, and there's what I was always a plaster on, but all the plaster's gone, and the wallpaper's gone. And as you see that, I think that looks alright, that. And but each wall got dirty as well, and I got add a couple more bits to it. And there's that wall, and there's the other wall, and as you see a bit of the plaster and the wallpaper's missing on the door, and then plus down on the above the with paneling. So but remember these walls have got to be made dirty. Yeah, and what I'm going to show you now is the bits from and add to it. But I'm not adding these bits to it on film. And as what I'm going to do is go away and add them, and then I'm going to come back and show you them before I stick them all in. So yeah, I've done some trim to go along there, and that's going to sit above the wood paneling, kind of like a tiny little shelf. Well, where do you see that? So that's going to go along there. I'm going to stick that along there. And that's on the four sides, and that is in the, well, we've got a kettle down, stick that to it, and then plus I've got all these bits and pieces, and then I'll show you what the bits and pieces are for. And as these bits are, because where the wood paneling is sits at about 2 mil or just over 2 mil, and I've got these bits to sit, and then they're by the door, and that is by the door and that, and then cut them down, and then I will put these bits on top, and that to make it all the same level. These bits will sit on top of the door, and then that to make it all the same level and that, and that will like that. And remember these are cut down, and then you have one, and then you're going to have one going through there as well, and then we got one to go down the bottom. It's down the bottom of the wood panel, light skirting boards, and I might stick a COVID along there. I don't know yet, and we'll see. But I'm going to get these done, and then like if I need to, and I'll stick these in, make them dirty, stick them in the room, and then do the coving. But and then we'll see once we've done these bits and pieces. So see you and say you in just a moment. Okay, what I've done, I've taken the movable door out, or wall, what should I say, not door, wall, and that's to the dining room, as a dining room door, and that what I've done, and now I haven't started that on as you see, but what I've done so far, them bits, well, I just painted the edges. What I showed you in the last, it was my last video. Oh well, like as just a minute ago, and that is, as I've cut them, I like square, and as you can see, they haven't got no 45-degree angle in one of the corners or anything like that, because when well, I've cut two of these, and one either side, and then with a 45-degree angle, because when I put that on there now, and as if I can get it on, show you. Sorry, I'll keep on driving it uh, below the camera, but and I'll get that on now, and that will cover up that. And they cover up that is the cuts there, and that is in there. As in, I've got the little black dots. Sorry, there's little black squares that sit over the top of that. But that's what I'm going to do is to take this off, and off the movable wall, put a removable wall over there. And, oh, sorry, I'm just see the camera. And that's so what I'm going to do is glue this one down, and I've got 1, 2, 3 blocks. I've got two 1, 2, 3 blocks. I've got two 90 degree angles, and I've got my mitre saw and block. I've got my mitre cutter. I know I've got a lot of stuff. And that is, and then I've got the blades. Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do now is get me 90-degree angle, push that down the bottom of my wall, and against the wooden panel, and that's so I can butt this up against it. And that is get 1 or 2, 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then push that against the sides of the door frame. Push that against there. Put some glue in me tray. That's what I should have done it in the first place. Put some glue in my tray, and as you, what I will do is move this up a little bit so you can see a bit more. I'll move that up, and then move these up like that, and move this up, and so I'll get my brush, take this off, and that still having that pushed against the 90-degree angle and the 1, 2, 3 block, and that's so I've got a straight edge. Put some glue on this, not on this one here, and I am using PVA glue in my brown sauce bottle. So I'll glue this. Stick this one on. Oh, so that's where really I should have got a bit of blue towel, and then stick that on there like that. And if you see that, sorry, my hands are in the way. Make sure that in the 1, 2, 3 blocks button the door, and now I was just say the edge of this door here. Push that up against, push that. Make sure and that's that one done. So now we're going to do this side here now. So we'll do this side here now. So and then glue this one again. Push the 1, 2, 3 block over to this side. Put a bit of glue on this one. Nope, as you see, put glue on it. Sorry, I keep on forgetting to hold it up so you can see. So I put some glue, and I haven't put too much glue on it. It's just enough. And then I'll put this one on. Push that one down to the down to this 90-degree angle. Push it over to the 1, 2, 3 block, and make sure it's nice and straight and it's on there all right. And hold it down for a couple of seconds, and that should be all right there. Okay, is that one was stuck down? Okay now, and then what I'm going to do is move this out of the way and move this out of the way. Get this here, and then there's my other bit. And just lay it on top of there. Get the straight edge, push it up against the straight edge. Sorry, I'm going to have to turn this round so I can see, and that's what I'm doing. Oh, well, I could do it the other way actually. What I'll do is put that there, push this up against the block, and then make sure that's all right. Get my pencil and mark the edge, and then they're just there. And the mark it so you can see it. And I'm going to get my mitre cutter, find the mark again, and that's there. And I'm going to cut that off on that line, put that over there, and then that should be the size of that. And there you can see that is. And so, sorry. And now what I'm going to do now is get my my mitre saw and block and do my 45-degree angles. So if I do one, sorry, if I do one, and if I do one that way, and then move it along, and I do one that way. So so both angles are facing in. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna cut this one this way first. Sorry, I can't. So make sure your bit you're gonna cut is right on this edge here. And then right on this edge, in line with that edge, and then as you cut through, and then you cutting from that edge down, or back, I should say, sorry. So that's what I'm going to do. And then you're left with a 45-degree angle, and that on the corner. So what I'm going to do now is take that little bit off, and then change it around for the other sides. Put that on there like that, and that is right on the edge there. You see right on that edge there. What we're going to do is, because I'm right-handed, what I do is turn that around. Oh, that's moved. So make sure that's on there again, like that, and then cut that one. It don't matter if there's a little gap in the when you put it together, because them little squares in it protect hide it anyway. See? So I've got 45-degree angle cut, and they're both ways now. So what I do now is move them out of the way. Bring this back over, and then lay it in. If it don't go in, because there's a bit of, what I should have done was got some sandpaper out. I might have to cut a little bit more off this one, but that's okay. I'll just cut it off and I'll be back. Yeah, and why they didn't fit is because like usually what I do is mark it, but I didn't. I just thought I'd try it. And if you lay that in there, see, right, you see this line here, or your edge of your of your wood or your this is cardboard, and I am using dark oak for the frame, the door frame, and as in light oak for the wood panelling. But yeah, if you see the edge of your frame, and they just mark it off on your bit of woods or bit of cardboard, because it's cardboard. Sorry, and then what you can do is that line, and if you line that line up with your saw, and I'll just cut it, and then we'll see how it comes out. Just make sure that's in line with your saw or your blades. Your blades sitting on that mark, because you might have to move it a couple of times. Right, that's that one done. So hopefully, keep fingers crossed, it should be right. Sorry. So I will set it in there now, and it's right. Look, so because like it's okay, you got these little gaps there, but the time you put these on, and then you won't see them. This is like that. So, oh, sorry, you can't see it. So yeah, so we've got that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue that there now because I'm happy with that. Just get because usually I have a bit of sandpaper and I just was slightly and they rub them down. Bit of glue there, and I'll stick this on. We'll like that. Oh. So that's okay. And they're like that. You can see that. And then what I'm going to do is get these little blocks because I've got quite a few of them here. Well, all hiding now, but I'll move them over. What I'll do is get a bit of glue and put them on there, and then just stick them over the blocks and over the corner. And they wipe the excess glue off, and they make sure that's in a square. So I'll just use my 1, 2, 3 blocks. Push that in there like so, and that's so it's square. And then do the same at the other end, this end here. And I'll get another one. I'll put a bit of glue on that. And then glue that one down. I'll move it out of the way first, so I can see what I'm doing. Put that on there like that. So yeah, take off the excess glue off there, scrape off. And they could give me 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 blocks again. Make that square like that, push that against the frame, and push them against the corner, well into the corner of the 1, 2, 3 blocks, and that should make that square then, and that's the way it turns out. So yeah, so you hide all the 45-degree angle cuts there, so that's that gone. And that's in plus what I'm going to do is stick to, and then when I do skirting, where we're going to do now, and we'll put a block down there as well. So we're going to do that now. Do skirting, the skirting, and I've got these thinner ones for the skirting, and then so what I do is, and they just lay them down, and the 2 lighters in, cut them all off, and they lay a little bit in there because that's going to be for the dado rail. and as in cut them off, and as in I'll come back and show you, and then when I stick them down. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I've cut my bits. I've got two little bits like that, and that is that for to fit either side for my skirting. And I've got two bits for my dado rail, and that one fits there, and that is in that little bit there fits on this edge here. So, and then as well as so what I'm gonna do, I'll do me dado rail in a minute. I'll put them over there, and I haven't cleared this up, but I'll clear that up in a minute. And I will get me me 90-degree angle. Oh, and they can't see that, can you? Oh, no. Oh, and I'll turn it up the other way. Oh, so you can see that. And they just make sure that's we're in line with the against the 90-degree angle. And so I'm gonna put me a bit of glue on and stick that down in there and push that right up to the. Oh, just come off. Push that right. Oh, stick it to my finger as well. Push that right up to the door frame, and then I'll put a bit on this one. No, and I'll keep on looking, and that's saving me my mic's on, because otherwise I don't want to film it and that as it ain't on. So I've got this one here, so I'll push this one right up to the door frame as well, and make sure you butt the 90-degree angle, the straight edge, and that's me skirting done. And as you know, what I'm going to do is do the potato rail. So I've got two little bits there. Put a little bit of glue on this one. You're going to get messy, you're going to get it on your fingers anyway, so it doesn't matter. Go and push this one down, and then make sure you got it is the right way round, and I had it sitting on the. Oh, there. That's it. That's it done. Oh no, I'm doing it the wrong way. What am I doing? Oh, all right. It just and it just goes on the back there because it's. Oh, it's all going wrong. This one sits like this. That's it. Oh, it's a comedy show. That's that one done. So what I'm going to do is stick this one here now. Just do it on the edge, on one edge. Like that. And then I'll just stick that on there. On top like that. So that's that done. So that's the skirting, the dado rail, and the door frame done. So what I'm going to do is go away do the others around the door and put the skirting on and the dado rail, and I'll be back with you to show you them. And we'll just do one wall dirty it, and I could do the rest, and we can stick it in. So what I'm going to do is go away now and do the other bits and pieces, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, I've completed in all the frames and all that now, and all it is just making the walls and everything look dirty now. But I am going to show you before I make everything look dirty. and that's at the frames. That's the remote. Oh, hang on, get out of a minute. The removable wall one. There's that one, and this is the one for the other end, and there's the opposite end to the removable wall. That one done, and I've got all the dado rail on, all the skirting, and the corner blocks I call them. As in, then you got the one. Well, I ain't got the other door in. That's the corners done, and then when that shuts up, it looks okay. And then you got the dado rail, skirting, all that. So yeah, that's that one done. And then we've got this one. And so like I know we've got a little bit of crease there, but as it was, they will look good in the house, and that because all the wallpaper ain't really straight or anything like that. Yeah, got this one. So now, so what I'm gonna do now is start dirtying it, and I've got, and I am using pastels, and then because we've got quite a few in there, I'll open them up, and there's you see all the colours, and then if you lift it up, is that right? Yeah, you lift them up, and then you got more colours underneath, and that. So and then I'm just going to sort out the pastels I'm going to use, and then we'll be back. Okay, what I'm going to use a black. So I'll take a bit of black out because that one just broke, and I'll push them ones down there, and as what I do, I'll get my craft knife, and oh no, this is grey. No, sorry, this is dark grey. Yeah, this is dark grey. And then I'll just scoop a little bit into the tray. Like that is it's not that much. I'll squeeze a little bit in there because you always add more, and as if you need more. And I'm going to do a bit of black as well. That's black. That's dark grey, I think. Black in there is in this one, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to use a bit of black in this one, and I'm going to scrape that in this one here. And there's not much, only a touch. That's that one done. And plus, what I'm going to use is a brown. So I've got grey, yeah, and I'm going to use a brown. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this brown one there, and I'm going to scrape that one into this one. So I'll keep them separate, and then just add them as you go. Oh, and I like to say, and as we and then we was told there's another person doing the Monsters House on YouTube. So and then we did find out the who's the name, and as we have been watching his videos, and as he's doing the Monsters House, and plus he's doing the Willy Wonka. Yeah, he's doing and Dorothy, and now the Wizard of Oz, and as in plus he's doing and there's some more themes and all that, like and go on there and watch him, and as his name, or to say his YouTube name is Billy, and so yes, so what we do is put his YouTube name down in our box below. And so, but please, we'll check him out, watch him, because he is, and he is really good. And we enjoyed watching him do the Monsters House. So, and hopefully, we better get ideas off each other's. So, and I'll carry on. We're doing these now. Right. As what I'm going to do is pack these away now. These colours, and then if I need some more, I'll just go back out. To put them in there, put the sponge on top, and then the lids. Yeah, so That's the pesters we use. Well, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a small one, the movable door, and then I'm going to use a brush to just dab some on, just flick on like this. And then I'm just going to rub it in. So what I do, I'll rub this in now, as with my finger. There's not too much, just to make it dirty in there, because it will be dirty around the door and down the side of the doors and along the edge. And then I'm going to get a bit of black, and then I'll put that on. And then a bit of grey. Put that on. I know, because you make it look nice, and then you take it, and then take it off to make it look dirty. But I'll leave it at that at the moment. I know that he's absolutely filthy. I'll bang that off, but as we'll see how it goes. So that's how I'm when they're trying to make it look a bit dirty, and as that does look dirty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the rest of them, and then come back and show you. Sorry, and then come back and show you what they look like. So just see you in just a moment. Okay, I've done my walls now, and all my walls been dirtied up now, and that is you're going to have a quick look at them, and as what I'm going to do is go when they go and stick them in the and they go and stick them to the walls, and and then after that is come back and as we scan the camera over is inside the room and see what they look like. So I hope they look alright. There's in this one here. So yeah, so what I'm going to do now is go and stick them into the house. Okay, I'm behind the camera now, as you can tell. There's all the walls stuck in now. It does look pretty good, and because it does look dirty. And so that's another room done in the well. This is the dining room, as you know, and all the floors dirty. And as what I'm going to do is drop the table down a little bit, and then put the removable wall in, and then film from the other side. So and let's do that. You see the timber slats and all that. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to speak to you now, and we're in this video here. Yeah, so that's another room done in the Munsters Mansion, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And as I said, like as just in a moment ago, if you could go across and look for Billy, his name is, and now we will, as I said, and then put his YouTube address or say like name down below in the box. So yeah, he's really good, and as he has done some nice stuff. So please go across and as in there, like enjoy watching him and subscribe to me, and if you would. So thank you for watching once again. And we'll catch you in the next one. The next one, because we've got 3 more rooms to do. Well, I've got 2 more rooms and the hallway. But I don't know if we're going to be doing them because, like, what I want to do is the ceiling, and start the walls upstairs and do the hallway. And we always come back to these 2 rooms, but and then we'll see. So as I said, just me go. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. So thank you very much, and bye bye.